My bio family tried to steal my trust fund because I should share it with my real family. My adoptive dad destroyed them all. When I was 9, my adoptive parents, Tom and Linda, moved our family from the US to the UK for Tom's job. They'd adopted me as a baby and raised me alongside their biological son, Daniel. Before the move, they set up a trust fund for both Daniel and me, equal amounts for when we turned 21 or needed help with housing or education. They wanted us to have security no matter what happened. The solicitors managing it had strict protocols, including security questions only I could answer, things about my childhood, my adoptive parents' details, and our life in the US. Tom and Linda would check in with Mr. Whitmore every few months to make sure everything was properly managed. When I was 17, my biological parents reached out through social services, wanting to meet me. Tom and Linda supported my decision to connect with them, but stayed protective. The bio family lived in Manchester, parents Ava and Keith, and 3 kids they'd kept, twins Jason and Riley, who were 20, and Chloe, who was 14. They gave this whole sob story about being too young when they had me, but somehow managed to keep the 3 kids they had right after. I tried building relationships with them for years while Tom and Linda watched nervously. The bio family always seemed weirdly interested in my adoptive parents' money. They'd ask about Tom's banking job, our house in Surrey, and where Daniel and I went to school. Ava would drop comments about how lucky I was to be raised rich while they struggled. Keith would joke about my sharing the wealth with my real family. The twins would hint about needing help with uni costs. Chloe just glared at me like I'd stolen her life. Last month, I got a call from Mr. Whitmore himself. He said there'd been multiple attempts to access my trust fund in the past week. First, someone claiming to be me called, saying I needed £30,000 for a family emergency. When security questions were asked, they put him on hold, and he could hear multiple people whispering in the background. They got every question wrong and hung up. Then Ava called, pretending to be Linda, my adoptive mother, saying she needed to authorize a release for me, except she pronounced Linda's maiden name wrong and didn't know Tom's middle name. Mr. Whitmore knew immediately it wasn't Linda, because he'd spoken to the real Linda that morning about Daniel's trust disbursement. The third attempt was Keith calling as Tom, which was ridiculous because Mr. Whitmore knew Tom's voice after 15 years. Keith tried deepening his voice but didn't know basic details like when the trust was established or what bank Tom worked for. He got aggressive when questioned and threatened to move the trust to another firm. The real Tom would never act that unprofessionally, but the bio family didn't stop there. The twins created fake email addresses similar to mine and sent requests for emergency funds. Chloe showed up at Whitmore and Associates office pretending to be me, but the receptionist knew what I looked like from previous visits. She was escorted out by security. They even had Ava's sister Helen call pretending to be a hospital administrator, saying I was in critical condition and needed treatment funds. Mr. Whitmore called Tom and Linda immediately. They were furious and called me to make sure I was safe. When I explained the bio family's money obsession over the years, Tom lost it. He'd always been calm, measured, the kind of dad who never raised his voice, but hearing that the people I'd tried to bond with were just after the money he'd saved for me changed something. Tom took time off work and hired a private investigator. Within a week, the investigator found that the whole bio family was in serious debt. Ava and Keith owed $40,000 on failed business ventures. The twins had massive student loans and gambling debts. Chloe had been caught shoplifting 3 times. They planned the whole thing as a family, thinking they could get the money before anyone noticed. They'd even researched what my trust was worth by finding old public records from Tom's financial disclosures at his bank. Tom didn't just want them stopped, he wanted them destroyed. He called his contacts at every major bank in Manchester and informed them about the attempted fraud. Keith worked at a small accounting firm that did business with Tom's bank. Tom pulled all contracts. Keith was fired within days. Ava was a receptionist at a medical practice. Tom knew the practice owner through Gall. When he heard about Ava impersonating a patient's mother to steal money, she was gone too. The twins worked at the same restaurant. Tom's colleague owned the chain. They were both terminated for theft after the owner suddenly decided to check the till cameras more carefully. Chloe's university got an anonymous tip about her shoplifting record that she'd hidden on her application. She lost her spot in the design program, but Tom wasn't done. Full story on channel, link below.